What's up? So we're here at Infinity, and I'm with my friend Cye. My name is Anna, and I love Boba, and I love chatting with the homies. And this is Boba Talk. It's so good, it's so good. Today, I'm drinking this red longan herb tea. It's like something I get because it's cold and non-caffeinated, but I like it. It's good. What are you drinking?
I got Thai tea. This is my go-to drink.
Yeah.
All the time. All you gotta do is pour milk.
Yeah. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Cool. So, let me introduce Cye properly. He is currently the Future Shock San Diego director, but he also graduated from Future Shock. He was also the artistic director for Culture Shock and was dancing with Culture Shock. And also we met on Super Galactic, and he directed Super Galactic, how many years ago?
4 now?
Yeah, 4 years ago. How did you get into dancing? How old were you?
I was actually, when I was first introduced to dance, my cousins and I used to always put together little shows for family reunions and whatnot. So I didn't even know what dance was then. To me, it was just like a thing we do for fun, but I didn't get into training or into the dance community until probably when Eric Molina told me to audition for Future Shock. I remember my audition, I was actually in jeans because he told me just an hour before the audition, he was like, yeah, just go, try it out. So I went in my jeans, auditioned, made it, and that's when I really got introduced to what the dance community was about and started being serious about dancing. Keone was directing at the time, and so you can only imagine and they brought in a lot of different choreographers. So they challenged us for sure, but it was all fun. It was good. They brought in I remember they brought in KJ during that first season, KJ Gonzales.
Oh yeah.
So of course, as a kid with KJ coming in, you're just mind blown, what?
Yeah.
How does someone move like this?
Yeah, no wonder, because your movement is fast.
Oh yeah.
Contains intricate weight changes.
Yeah, and I used to take KJ's classes at FX every Tuesday, and then I took over his class when he left. Yeah, but taking his classes definitely made me move a lot faster, which wasn't good because then I threw in dancing big, all the choreographers I learned from, they kind of started getting meshed together, so it threw in a whole bunch of details in there.
Yeah,
but I slowed down since then.
Really? I don't know. A little bit. Okay, but
people would differ.
when you first made your first piece, what was that like?
So I actually used to teach dance before I went on Future Shock. Before I even knew what the dance community was like, I'd still teach hip hop, and the first piece I taught, I remember, was to Chris Brown's Yo.
Oh.
I think that was my first piece that I taught people, and that was fun. It was cool. It was to me, I didn't really understand what I was doing. All I knew was something that I felt natural about, I wanted to do it, so I put together moves, I danced to a song, set the choreography, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna teach this.
Yeah, but would you do it at home, or would you look at a mirror? What would you do?
Yeah, no, I'd just be at home, no mirrors, nothing, just headphones, and then just kind of freestyling to the music until I felt I want to do that. So till this day, I think that's still kind of my process. I don't choreograph to a mirror. I just picture in my head, and whatever feels natural and organic while I'm dancing is what I keep in the choreography. In my first season in Future Shock, we had a lot of dope dancers, everyone was dope, and it was always you had everyone to kind of keep pushing you because everyone was progressing a lot, and so you kind of had to keep up. And it's hard to say. I want to say hopefully they did think that I was dope, but I don't know. You can't really compare it because everyone was
But you kept going
good.
though, so nobody
yeah.
really told you, "Hey, you're pretty good at this."
Yeah.
You just liked doing it.
I just like doing it, and I think that's important. You know, like the only like verification that you really need is from yourself. Like if it's something that you love to do,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't let people say like, you know, like, oh, don't do it, like you're not good at it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to an extent, you have to accept what you love to do.
Yeah.
You know, and just do it, because that's what's gonna feel organic, and that's what's gonna make you happy.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess fast forward a little bit, and you're on Super, right? Mm-hmm. Who was your director on Super?
That was Ving, Nguyen, and Jay.
Yeah.
They were my directors from the get-go, and yeah, I definitely learned a lot from them. That one, I actually won choreographer of the year.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
during my rookie season, so that's where I had a little bit more of a, I guess, what
validation
that, you know, like, okay, like
I'm pretty good.
I guess I can do this, you know. And at the time, that was when I first found out that my choreography was fast.
Oh, you didn't know that.
I mean, like,
okay.
I had a sense, but not like
Yeah.
to the sense where everyone would struggle with it, you know.
Yeah.
But that was also the time where I was taking KJ's class a lot.
So you were used to it.
I was used to it. I was like, this is normal.
Yeah. So how do you train people that don't normally move that fast? Like, how do you get them to get used to it?
Yeah, I mean, one, with anything, it's practice. Practice is everything. It's when your body's gonna get used to like new things, and you know, that's why they say like get uncomfortable to get comfortable. You know, but they actually in Super, they gave me the opportunity to teach more.
Yeah.
Like they saw like, okay, like we want to use your stuff. Like there's potential, so we want to get the team to be more comfortable with what you do. So they actually had me teach more often. I remember the first piece I taught them. It was actually Nicki Minaj Super Bass.
Oh, that's
I know
fast.
it was.
That's fast already.
Yeah, and yeah.
Did you go to the lyrics or the beat?
I went with the lyrics, and then of
dang.
course switching to the beats, like in
okay.
between, you know.
Yeah.
And so what they did was they just had me teach more and more and more and more, just like keep putting my material on them so they get used to it. And in time, they got more confident. They got more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like they started to accept the choreography and the way I move more.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I think with me choreographing more, I was able to see how I move.
Yeah.
And figure out like what is it that I do a lot and what is it that I don't do enough.
Yes.
So at that point, I started realizing, okay, I need to slow down a bit. You know, slow it down, take your time, and let the pictures kind of sit in a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely choreographing more is a good practice to figuring who you are as a dancer and who you are as a choreographer.
What was your favorite move? Was it like?
I do a lot of like
this?
I do a lot of like knees out kind of
like this?
knees out. That's the one.
Nice.
And I think naturally, I just always wanted to teach. I wanted to help other people either understand dance a little bit more, or for me to be able to pass the lessons that I learned onto other people, you know. And I wanted to just be like, just be in the dance community, you know, like just dance and teach. So I don't know, there's always that connection, you know, and it's hard to really say, but I just knew that I wanted to stay in this for the long run.
Okay, wait. So that's interesting for me because you're still, I mean, compared to me, like you're still from the younger generation.
Yeah.
But you're saying that you wanted to stay in the community, right? So what do you remember the community being like?
Well, I mean, it's been about 10 years since I started, so it was about like being in the dance shows and going to the competitions and seeing those people that are in other teams in other cities and wanting to reconnect, and being like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long, you catch up. Of course, I feel like now it's shifted to more of self-promotion, with social media coming and rising into just getting more known. And I think that's how people kind of get more into the industry now. Yeah. Because before it was only like a handful of people who would switch to industry.
Yeah, you had to go to LA.
Yeah.
You had to get an agent. Before you get an agent, you had to take headshots, and then audition. And then they would send you out to these auditions. But now, you're right. Like now they can check your social media following, your YouTube followers, and they will hire you. Some of them will hire you based off of that, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. And that's actually like I'm someone who's not too used to doing that as well. Like a lot of my friends and a lot of people who take my classes, they'll tell me like, oh, like why don't you put out more videos, or like why don't you put more of your stuff out, And for a very long time I never thought of it, like, because to me, I want people to be in class, I want people to be engaged, and I want people to take my class because they heard the quality of the class, but now we've come to a place where they want to be familiar with your class, they want to see your material before they come into class. So for a while I wasn't doing it, but lately I've realized, to stay in it, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
You have to adapt, and it's not, you don't have to adopt, you don't have to completely change who you are.
You are dropping some little nuggets there, Cye.
Yeah, but just adapt, take in what the younger generations are doing, what the newer styles are, and incorporate it with what you learn or what you grew up with.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how to stay relevant, and I was a little bit hard-headed about that.
Yeah.
But I think now, you can see I've been putting a little bit more material out, and probably gonna start doing it more and more.
That's what I love about you, though. You still have old school values.
Appreciate it.
You're young, but you still have that middle time growing up.
Yeah.
With some of the older generation.
Yeah. I had great directors, so.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so speaking of, you also did with your brother, with Clarence, you directed and produced Artificial, right? Which is one of the first youth hip hop dance competitions.
We always wanted to create a platform for artists to present themselves and to harness their potential and push their creativity forward. That was always our mission. At the time, there was no youth competition, and
probably just K-12. I remember K-12.
Yeah. And two, there's a lot of talent in the younger generation, and we wanted to give them their opportunity to shine, because most youth competitions back then, it was always attached to the adult competition. It was always beforehand, like maxed out, it would be the youth and then the adult.
Yeah, so it'd be a really small window of time, maybe a few performers.
Yes, yeah. The hardest part was working with dancers.
Talk about that.
Dancers can sometimes be divas as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Really?
So that was the biggest, one of the bigger challenges.
Yeah.
But two, the biggest thing was to create the idea and make it reality, especially when it's the first of its kind. When you're doing it for the first time, you have to create everything from scratch.
Yeah.
So you have to think of all aspects, like what are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do here? You have to create the skeleton of it. Of course, it made it easier as the years followed. You just refer back to the first year.
Yeah.
But during your first year, you have nothing to refer to.
You're just making that all up right then and there. Yeah.
But then luckily we had we had you to help us out, and we had
Yeah, I always liked Cye. I don't know why, but whatever. Him and his brother asked me like questions about stuff, about events, and I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would tell them to go full force, and to just go for it. Like if you believe in yourself, if you know that this is something that you want to do, and it's something that you feel natural or good about,
Yes.
go for it. Even if it's not meant to be, at least you would have learned and take you'd be able to take something away from that.
Right.
Yeah.
And mind you, this career isn't easy, know. And us being Asian, come on now. First thing you're gonna go up against is your parents. They're gonna ask if you're gonna
Did your homework?
Yeah. Are you getting paid from that?
Oh yeah.
How will you support yourself? Things like that. That's just the smaller things. There's even bigger things that you have to think about.
Don't limit yourself to what you're comfortable with, because your biggest growth is going to come from those uncomfortable moments. So what I mean by that is back when I was on Future Shock, like my directors brought in different choreographers, different styles, and and I feel like that helped me grow the most. So for anyone right now who is like on a dance team or are only relying on the material that they learn from their team, like go take class, go expose yourself to the dance community. There's so much that the dance community has to offer. Like take it all in, challenge your body. That's the only way that you're going to be able to explore the different ways that your body can move.
Nice. Very good. I can tell you are culture shock trained. I just had my interview with Sherman. Sherman said the same thing.
Oh yeah. Well, glad that I'm on the same wavelength as him. Yeah. Stay positive, because as a dancer or even as an artist of any kind, it's easy to lose track or to feel disappointed at ourselves, like in class or during rehearsal. If the choreography is hard or it's something that you're not used to, it's a positive mindset that's going to help you stay energetic, and it's going to help you learn better because you're not closing yourself off. Once you lose that positive mentality, you just start to lose focus.
Yeah, you mess up more.
Yeah, you mess up. You stop thinking about what's really important. And what is really important? It's dancing, and you love to dance.
Yeah.
Like,
what are some things you tell yourself to stay positive? Like how do you stay positive?
Me, I honestly just remind myself like why do you dance? I'm not going to get mad at myself if I mess up, because
word.
yeah, because I know that like it takes time. Progress takes time. And you just have to just enjoy the process, and that's what helps me stay positive. Like don't let yourself get down because of a small mistake or a little
you're not
struggle.
getting it right away. A
little struggle is normal. So that's what I do.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Oh my gosh. So I could spend all day, because honestly, like this is stuff that we taught all our culture shock kids, and so glad that it came out of this dude's mouth. Like, it's consistent. That's what I'm getting at. So thanks for spending time with me. It's Boba with friends. It's Boba well spent. Peace.